Hello, good evening. Welcome along to the JACKOCAR Cup Series. It is Season 10, Round 12. It is the end of the regular season as of tonight. We've got not too much to clean up for possibly the first time in the league's history, but we are still here in Austria. We already have our champion confirmed for the regular season, Jaco Sullivan, but we'll talk about him later on. I'm your commentator, Omar. With me, I have Jacko, who's, I don't know, from what I could tell, like, he was shaking with excitement. And it's raining as well, which means it's even more exciting. Of course.
Well, the excitement has already begun, Owen, and you can probably hear it in our voices. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to an 18-car grid in the final ever regular season finale that JACKOCAR will ever have, apparently. We're ecstatic and thrilled and filled with joy as we head to the Austrian hills. The thing to note this evening, though, you will see a new name on there, number 89 to ever race in JACKOCAR, Mr. Chris Waite. Speed Waitesy, the amount of one-hub drivers that have come across because they just can't resist JACKOCAR. Need I say any more?
You see, that is a surprise, actually. That's a real surprise that it's taken him this long, because it's a name that we all know very well. So, yeah, nice for him to show up. He's not the first driver out tonight, though, is he? We'll see him a little bit later on. We are waiting on OKK, who's currently he's flirting with the softs here. We must be like on a bit of a crossover point because of the way this game works with rain. It wouldn't at all surprise me if you could go out there on dries and set a competitive lap time. So we'll keep our eye on that. If the rain ever gets a little bit lighter, they will try it, I'm sure. But yes, this is round 12. As we know, it's an extended season, as it is season 10 is the last season. They want to do a 21 race season. It is 21, isn't it? So 12 regular season and then 9. Hopefully, extremely exciting playoff races to decide our final champion. But here is OKK, and he is going to try the softs. Let's see how the out lap goes. Forget the lap itself. This might be the most entertaining thing you're ever going to see in your life.
Would anybody be mad with a Michael OKK pole here, assuming the rain gets heavier?
Well, this is it. Is this in anticipation for rain stopping or rain getting heavy? That is a good point, because if it gets heavier, and then if this is competitive, it'll be pole. But yeah, we'll see what happens. There are actually a few little bits of housekeeping we've got to do here, because after Jacko Ball last night, myself, Jacko himself, and Mr. Ben Shaw, we were bitching and moaning about many things, but we were saying about this exciting race and what we could do to jazz it up a little bit, because we know our regular season champion, Project Chase, it looks like it's going to work for Gareth because he's not here, and he's only 6 points ahead of Pete Knighton, which is a weird thing to say. He might actually get into the playoffs this season. But there's a few guys hovering on the edge, but that's Ryan goes okay, by the way.
OKK's around, yep.
But yeah, basically there's a few players hovering, a few drivers. He's beached that. He's completely beached that. That's that. Okay. Well, do you know what? In this specific circumstance, there's nothing more he could do. So let's just pretend we didn't see that.
There's no rule about a 30-second penalty for reset the track in qualifying.
Yeah. Well, there you go then. No harm, no foul.
Please continue as you were.
Yes.
I know exactly where you were going with
yes.
this, as my OKK comes around to start qualifying.
But yes, basically, we'll keep with the slap, but obviously with the regular season sort of petering out a little bit, and it's not got the sort of same stakes as before, we decided to add an extra feature. Those who have been on YouTube and seen these races before, or been in ILR in the past, will know that we here like a race for 10th. It's always been a classic format, and you always have good fun with it. So along with the playoff points that you earn for winning races and all the black rubbish stuff, if you finish in 10th place tonight, me and Jacko are kindly offering 5 extra playoff points to that driver. So hopefully that encourages people to actually try a bit tonight, because I feel like a lot of the drivers might be, I suppose, just playing it safe because they're like, well, I'm stuck in the playoffs, and they will say stuck in the playoffs or stuck in the chase or maybe excited about the chase. So yeah, it's just worth keeping your eye on, because I'm hoping it'll encourage a bit more racing.
I hope the same thing as you, as we see KK continue to struggle around this Spielberg lap. I was going to say as well, this race is very much a formality, that the season is done and dusted. There's a few positions that can change, but it is pretty much sorted. However, 5 playoff points gives you something to really aim for in 10th. The other thing to look out for is the Jordan versus Nick Club Card Shootout winner. But also, with it being a race that means very, very little, it does encourage a bit more risque driving. So you might see people like really go for it tonight, because it really is a nothing race for 16 of these guys.
Well, this is it. We've got only one Joker tonight as well, so we'll be expecting Mike Kelterborn to hopefully give us a bit of a show as he goes for a first win since what was it, Canada 3 seasons ago. So we'll see if he can make something work there, because he's the only driver on that Joker. I don't know what the weather's going to be like for the race. If it's mixed like this, it might be quite interesting. But as we see Baza come around the final corner, he's going to be about 8 seconds faster than OKK. But there are some drivers still thinking about it. I saw the sun was, creeping through the clouds there. So I'm assuming the track is meant to start drying up at some point, but obviously not quite yet. I am not seeing any Quinn here, am I? So we're going to see Mike Kelterborn's lap in full, which is exciting. Let's actually take you around the Austrian Grand Prix circuit here at Spielberg. As through turn 1, it's probably the hardest corner on the track, that, to be honest, because of the way the curbs are in this game. They're very sort of reactive. Not as bad as 21, but it's the same sort of thing. The bump in towards turn 3, also from 21, luckily doesn't cause a problem here, but it's still a tricky braking zone. Into 3, you've got to get your exit right, obviously, because all that run towards turn 4. It's the last of 3 DRS zones. One to turn 1, one to turn 3, and this one to turn 4. It's where you'll probably see most of the overtaking tonight. Hits the apex relatively well at 4. Turn 5 is basically a nothing corner. It's just, you just sort of do it, really. Turn 6, in the race, I imagine it's less heavy braking, more just a lift and sort of flick it in, and don't flick it out, as MK Bourne did there. Ignores the apex for turn 7, and is all over the apex at turn 8. You don't really want to touch the turn 7 apex, in fairness, because it will spin you around if you hit it wrong. Turn 9 as well, be careful on the curbs here. And turn 10, you throw it in, and it does tend to stick. It's a fantastic corner, actually. And around the final corner, it will be fastest for Mike, and it's a second clear of Baz's time. But that is a lap of Austria.
Yeah. I said good lap. I don't know how good it will actually be compared to the likes of, this man.
Oh, yeah, we'll get a good indication here.
Champion. But it was certainly an entertaining lap from the German. So hopefully we get more of that. The rain does often deliver a bit of drama. But let's go on board here with Ben Shaw for the final 2 corners. There's one. This will be the second one. Another flick to the right. Stay to the outside of that white line. Otherwise you run the risk of invalidation. But up to the line he comes then. P1 for Ben Shaw. We've not seen that very much this season. He says he despises this game. But looking rather good early doors qualifying here so far.
Yeah, just to put into perspective how his season's been, he's not really been at many of the races, but he's at the point here where, and this must be the first time he's ever been in this situation, he's a must-win tonight if he wants to get into the playoffs. I don't know if he does want to get into the playoffs, but if he does, he's a must. Of course he doesn't, but the problem is, again, Pete Knighton's in here, Sullivan Lewis is in here, Gareth could end up in here. If Mike has a good race tonight, he could be the one who jumps up into the playoffs. A lot of good drivers are in the chase. Only one driver can get out of it. So, I don't know, I feel if Ben's got a chance to get that win that he must tonight, he might well go for it. Here comes Wes, and Wes, where even is he? He's not even in the championship, is he? He just doesn't exist.
He's a reserve.
Yeah, he's just a reserve. He's gone third fastest.
By the way, Yori Haslager, another one of those big names down there in the chase, another one that could also get out of it and make a Championship 5 appearance on, December 18th, 2024, when we all go to Abu Dhabi. But another note on Ben Shaw, it was in the chase when it was a year ago, went all the way to the Championship 5 in Las Vegas and won it, so he won't mind that one bit.
Fair enough. Maybe I don't think. Yeah. Well, I suppose I don't have the stats for it, but I feel he couldn't have been a must-win for the playoff. He wouldn't need a miracle. That might have been again another perhaps deliberate one, a bit like this one. Probably more subtle in season 8, but maybe it's the working formula when the chase and get through. We have seen it done a couple of times, as you say. Yuri into second place and nearly bins it on the exit of 1, but luckily his lap's already over, so it doesn't matter. Pete Knighton. Again, we're going to say it, he may or may not want to be, but he's got a fantastic opportunity here to get himself into the playoffs. I'm going to throw a number up. Season 2 must have been the last time he was in the playoffs, and it all went wrong in Canada on the final lap where he spun up at the chicane, and ever since then his career simply hasn't recovered. But if he can get into the playoffs tonight, that will be a big achievement. But my goodness, the rear end there was not compliant at all.
I'm going to throw a number in there as well, Owen. 152 races since Pete Knighton won in the Cup Series. You like that, didn't you?
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Good segue, as they say in media. You'll like that.
Yeah, isn't it? Student. It's not a number that far off the number of races it's been since Risky won here. It was season 2, wasn't it? He got his. It was him, wasn't it? Give us that number.
That was 134 races ago.
Fantastic, and he's done the same thing as Pete did in the last corner, but it's fine. We know he can win from the back here. He's done it in season 2, but yes, first non-legal lap. So poor effort there from Risky, but I'm sure we'll see plenty of him later on. Nick, who, well, in the 2 races I've been away racing, he's a winner now, isn't he? So
no.
Is he not a winner?
Should have been a winner.
Oh, should have been a winner. Did he still not win?
He pussied out of fighting Kieran for P1.
What about
let Kieran go?
Wait, who won in Portugal then? Or was that I'm getting mixed up perhaps with what's his face? The other guy. Tony
yeah, won in Portugal.
That's who I'm getting mixed up with.
And Kieran won Imola.
So he hasn't actually become a winner yet. He hasn't listened to my advice of just fight.
He's come close though. But of course, nobody ever remembers second place. But he has the opportunity to be first place over Jordan Lane tonight if he can finish within 5 positions of Jordan. He goes P1 for now, Owen Wyatt. That 10 playoff points awaits if he can win the club card shootout.
All right, then wait. So let's see what you've got. Well, he's got a very generic livery for a start. I mean, that's just pathetic. But again,
disgustingly purple, one would say.
I know, but it's not even like, oh, look at the I'm one hub. I'll stick purple on the car. At least Nick actually put the purple on. That purple that's on there is just the automatic purple that's put on by the game. It might as well be a default livery at that point. But oh well.
Makes me sick.
It does, but mind you, at the same time, I don't want to. I don't blame the driver for not wanting to put a mortgage down to get one of the special liveries that you get in the store, which are simply a rip-off at that point. But oh well, around the final corner, the number 5 machine hasn't gone spinning, and he has gone straight to the top.
One Hub will be absolutely loving this. 2 of their drivers, 1 and 2. Don't worry, it won't be forever.
Speaking of Ferraris, here comes Leroy in very much a Ferrari scheme. Let's see if he can make anything work here. He's got a car in front of him, which is quite a rare occurrence, actually. Who's that? Is that Jordan in front of him? He might have got a slight toe off him, but I suppose dirty air is not an issue on this game, is it? But still, it's odd to catch someone up on your qualifying lap, but he's managed it. And Jordan is on his lap, Leroy 4th, and we'll catch up on, well, the entirety of Jordan's lap. I don't know how they've sort of ended up together like that, but, well, Jordan, who is advanced on points this season, he's having a very good run of things in the Cup Series, and looking to get a club card shootout victory, get a few extra playoff points for that. We'll see how he gets on.
1 win to his name, that France Super Speedway last season, winning on Ben Harrett's home soil, as he now says these days. But you just feel like he's got one more in him, don't you?
Well,
he's not quite done, Jordan Lane.
You've got to say, we do go back to the France Super Speedway quite late into the season, don't we? If he can keep himself in contention, a second win could be very timely for him.
It's a pass. It's a ticket to the Championship 5 is what it is.
Now, here he comes through the final corner in Austria. It looks like a pretty good lap this so far. We know he has been quick, and that is P1. So Jordan, he looks to close a very successful regular season out in some style. Let's see if that lap holds. The track appears to be getting a little bit better in fairness, but not enough for dries. That experiment seems to not really be working, as we see Casper in all gold, despite not being regular season champion, Jacko.
Yes, we have discussed this. He's running gold for 100 races as he goes P1.
I
for them
see.
to Jordan's 5 minutes of fun.
Well, fair
So,
enough
yeah,
then.
just like me this week, 100 races in JACKOCAR. The only difference is all the Caspers have come in the Cup Series.
Yes, well, we'll see if he. I don't know how yours went, but we'll see how his goes. If it goes well.
P7 I was in Texas, but I think under review it could be put up to P6 because Mike pitted twice under safety car, as far as I'm aware.
Nice. Good for him.
Yeah.
What do we think to Corey's scheme? Every time I look at it, I still think it's vomit inducing. But is there a reason why it looks like this, or has he just done it for the fun of it?
I'm sure it's the purple and yellow that Hamilton runs on his helmet.
Yeah, but
still.
what's the green all about? Do you know what I mean? That's what's infuriating.
I don't know.
I've not really asked him. I was too busy fighting him last week in Qatar. It occurred to me because we were fighting on the last lap as he goes third fast, and it occurred to me mid-fight. It's probably why I lost. But it occurred to me, why has he got green all over that thing? That's my colour. But anyway, he's gone to third fastest. Speaking of green, here's another man who claims the green colour, in Ben Harrett. Well, it looks better on this car. Frankly, it looks better than the green on my car last week. I might have gone a bit too far with it last week, but oh well, we'll tone it down for next time I race, which will be never. So you'll never see it again. But here comes Ben Harrett. It's P5. I don't know if he'd be happy with that time or not, really. But again, I don't think they care, do they? Sadly, I don't think they care.
No.
But
No.
let's see how Arnold gets it on. He's had a nightmare last two races. One of which I got to witness basically firsthand in Portugal, and the other one I got to listen to with absolute delight in Qatar, where it just didn't happen for him. He just kept getting wrong place, wrong time for everything. So perhaps me being back in the commentary box and not on the racetrack will help bring him back up to form as he comes around the final corner. No, he's going to go P1. Sorry, the line does creep up on you. So Arnold has gone P1, ERT 1, 2, 3, 4. And the last two drivers, Speed, Catboy, and Jake, will try and disturb the peace.
Yeah, boring old Jake, who won the regular season last week. Nobody cares. Which means, because of that, there is now no regular season fight to be had here at round 12. So yeah, let's just watch the end of Catboy's lap in silence because there's nothing else to talk about, Owen.
Yeah, well, that was good. Yeah. As you say, Jake, regular season champion. And the best thing is, he's such a good driver as well. You know, he doesn't complain. He doesn't accuse people of cheating. He's not a wet wipe. Nothing like that. So, luckily, he's got his championship winning stuff out of the way. Maybe people could race him this week if I'm getting upset. But, whoa, big tank slapper though into 4. That's not going to help this lap. Perhaps, that could seal pole actually for the ERT boys. We'll see how it goes. But, what colour is the car actually? Is it like a rose gold type colour he's got on there? It kind of looks quite nice on the onboard actually.
Oh, let me get my spectacles on.
Red,
black, and some sort of
rose gold.
Rose.
Hey, because he's lifting here. I think he might be. Or is it just that difficult into turn 9? But it looked to me like he was trying to.
No balls, mate. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's got him to third place, but yeah, it might have been a little bit more time than that. But yeah.
I don't think he was denying Arnold of his 21st career pole with that lap, even with the lift. So qualifying done, and that's one bit out of the way. And now we can get the race out of the way with. But
yes.
With that, actually, Arnold now ties Ben Shaw for all-time poles. They are both P2 behind, of course, Khalifa on 28.
We're waiting for Catboy here just to hit the retire button if he wouldn't mind. Thank you.
He heard you.
So he's a good servant to the league.
Jordan's saying he went to track at 7:30, got stuck in the pits because his teammate was coming in.
That would explain how Leroy ended up catching him up because, like I say, you never see that happening in qualifying. But yeah, well, we caught it on that occasion. Let's give you a rundown of the grid in this wet qualifying. Let's say I don't know what the weather for the race is going to be like, but for qualifying, Arnold, Casper, Jake, Catboy, Jordan, Corey, Whitesea on his debut, P7. Ben Harrett, Nick, Ben Shaw, then Leroy, Yuri, Mike, our Joker in 13th, Wes, Pete, Baza, OKK, and Risky, the only guy who was invalid, and OKK's Gamble on the Sauce. I could see where it was coming from, because this game, genuinely, it will let you run dries on a wet track sometimes. But it didn't work out from there. And it's a bone dry track for the race. So at this point, I'll always turn around and say, I wonder if they mucked about with their setups for the wets. No one did, obviously. It's something people used to do back in the day, but now people know there's absolutely no point. So, yeah, I'm sure they'll all be with their proper setups and ready to go for the last race of the regular season. Stages are lap 9 and lap 22. So we'll be keeping our eyes on those throughout the race. And it's how long's the race here? 36 laps? 36 laps. So yeah, pretty comfortable two-stop for them all. It'll be interesting to see what Mike's strategy is, because we always end up seeing people ending up on the hards here, and it's always just not very fast. I like the hards on this game, but some people don't really get along with them. But if you can be consistent on them, it might work for you. But yeah, but we'll see what Mike's strategy ends up being. It just doesn't feel like the best track to do a Joker on, to be honest. But oh well, I was saying to Jacko before, why didn't he do it at Canada? I don't even know what's on the calendar, but if he could have done, Canada, I suppose, is a clear two-stop track as well, just anyway. But well, we'll see how he gets on. We'll follow his progress. He currently sits 13th for the championship, 13 points off the cut-off line. So I mean, if he gets a properly good result here, he could get himself into the playoffs.
Owen,
yes.
A technical question for you.
Okay.
I feel like I know the answer, but you know when it rains in qualifying and then it is dry for the race.
Yes.
Is the game clever enough to recognise that there is no grip from the qualifying session? So meaning these drivers would be on a green track, or is it just a standard amount of grip that is default for any dry race at Austria?
I feel like the game simply won't remember that it's been wet.
Okay.
It's just a new session, isn't it? And regardless of the track grip, you can see. I mean, it's all based on the tyres anyway. I don't think the track does anything. I mean, you get marbles, that's about all the track will do during any event. And even then, they don't really work properly. So I'd be actually well impressed if the game has factored qualifying into anything here. We stopped giving Codemasters credit a long time ago. But
like 2015?
Yeah, possibly before that even.
Yeah. To be fair to them, like 2010, 11 and 12 were very good games. I enjoyed them. What about yourself? You probably weren't born.
No. I've been playing them since 2000. I've been playing since the first one on the PSP with 2000. I mean, I've played every Codemasters game. They're good ones and bad ones. This one's one of the bad ones, but I like it. But I also liked some of the worst Xbox. I just like a lot of the F1. I'm a sucker for F1 games, unfortunately. I think 22 is the only one I've properly despised.
Oh no, this is worse than 22.
Yeah, but I'm on a pad. I think genuinely, this is what I've discovered in the last few weeks. If you're on a pad on this game, they've actually made a fantastic game for pad. It's just rubbish if you want to be on a wheel, which is obviously what you'd want to do because it's an F1 game. So yeah, it's an odd way of doing things for Codemasters.
Anyway, we shan't worry about that anymore. It is the end of the regular season. It's JACKOCAR. It's prime time on a Thursday night. Prime time is in fact 7:36. One Joker in the form of Mike Helterborn. Stage points at the end of lap 9 and 22. It's Austria, and this is Owen Wyatt.
That is some incredible parking there from Baza. Have you seen that? That is superb.
That's very severe.
It's very Sebastian Vettel in China, that. I'm impressed that he's been able to get away with that. But anyway, we've got some lights on. Look out for Baza getting a jump start as well at the back. We've got 5 lights here in Austria. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Baza very much has got a jump start, but we are away. Let's go racing for the last time in the regular season. The last regular season ever in the Cup Series, and it is Arnaud who leads into turn 1. He's got Casper in second behind him. Jake and Catboy holding position as well. Very, very clean. A bit more side-by-side in the midfield. We've got Ben Harrett alongside Waitsy on his debut, and he's got Nick and Ben Shaw behind as well. In towards turn 3, Leroy having a little bit of contact, Baz having a little bit of contact, but they're all being very nice to each other. Here comes Jake, he's closing on Casper, but it's not going to go for any move. And yeah, even into turn 4, they're a little bit with Baz. Baz is very much taking advantage of his lobby host sort of capabilities. Again, literally, it does give you a second's head start. There's nothing we can really do about it, because I don't think, Jacko, your internet's good enough to hold the lobby, and I'm streaming, so unfortunately Baza gets the benefit. But that's what he gets for being a driver here since, forever.
My internet can hold the lobby, it just can't host a game of FIFA, as we've learned over the past few weeks. By the way, something to note here, Mr. Sullivan Lewis, no visible damage, but he did run into the back of, I think, Michael OKK at turn 3. He has now dropped to the back, but other than that, they've all made it round lap 1. Arnaud still leads the way.
Oh dear, this is potentially going to be a swamping here for Catboy, because he got it all wrong while defending against Corey into turn 1. Had a huge slide. He's lost a further 2 places, possibly more. He's got Ben Harrett on his inside and Ben Shaw following, so a bit of a catastrophic start to lap 2 here for the Season 6 champion. I'm seeing Mike already falling to the back of the grid, and there's a yellow flag as Ben Harrett nearly finds the gravel, and Ben Shaw might have got a little tap there from Nick, who gets past him up into P9. So a little bit of messing about in the midfield, but definitely Kieran, the biggest loser, the highest running driver on at the softs, and obviously Mike on those hards. He's not at the back, and he's just overtaken risky. I've just seen bits of his front wing go flying as he went off at turn 6. I wonder who he's hit, but he's at the back now. And Arnaud, he's got Casper on the back of him as we start lap 3, and the DRS game's surely beginning as Leroy. That's... Oh! Wow! That's fantastic. Who was that? That was Yuri, who's just about avoided, and Wes.
Oh,
I know there's penalties being given out there. But that was tremendous avoidance work. And look at that, Casper's just completely got his braking wrong there for turn 3 as he went for the race lead. And he's lost out there to Arnold and probably to Jake as well. Fair enough for trying, but he must have broke a good 50 metres too late for the corner. A lot of penalties going on out there. Risky sped into the pits to fix his front wing, but Leroy losing it out of the final corner. He has lost a bit of his front wing from contact with West, but Yuri, I believe, was the one who missed an enormous accident. And brilliant avoidance driving there. My goodness.
As Catboy continues to fall down the order. On that previous lap, by the way, Ben Shaw took Catboy's line, and which, where they throw it in, they sort of slide round. Yes. Ben Shaw slid a little bit too much and then had to recover it. And then immediately after that, Leroy had his moment. But once again, Arnaud, lap 3, leading the way. These 3 are starting to break away. Corey and Waitsy trying to do their own thing behind them.
Good demonstration there from Catboy for the pit entry. Obviously, you've got to commit.
Very good.
Got to commit all the way to the right-hand side before you get into the pit lane. That is the official rules in F1. It's the rules here as well, as Jake barges his way past Arnaud and into the lead. Neither of them have DRS coming out of turn 3, so this is a chance for Casper to have a look, but it's also a chance for Arnaud to have a look. Straight on the inside, and there's contact between the two of them. We're 3 wide on the exit. Will Casper be able to get through? Looks like he's been boxed in a bit there by his teammate Arnaud. He's trying to defend from Jake, but right on the outside, Casper, he's going to get the job done into the gravel, but he's still side by side. More contact, and into the gravel again they go. And Jake, he very much wanted to get his elbows out there, and he's successfully done so, and I'm sure Casper will be absolutely thrilled about that as they get ready to do it all over again.
Do you know what? As Arnaud leads the 4th lap of tonight, we're actually having an enjoyable race so far, aren't we?
This is a fantastic
is what we needed,
start.
because it certainly means nothing, as we said earlier. But brilliant racing from the top 3. I just hope we get no steward reports, because it's a nothing race. It means nothing, guys. Don't report anything. Just enjoy the racing. I know me, you, and the viewers aren't. This is JACKOCAR at its finest.
Yes, and
Speed Waitsy and Mr. Corey Dalton on their way to that top 3 now. Just a little bit behind still, but they are dragging a handful of drivers behind them. Jordan Lane only 1 place ahead of Nick Egan, which would not be enough for him to win the Club Card Shootout.
Yeah, but fantastic news for Waitsy there. He had DRS on the top 3, so if they slow each other down anymore here, these top 3, we could end up seeing that leading fight become an 8-car train, which will be very exciting indeed. But let's see, the gap is just over a second. Oh, will he get in there? He waits, so you might have to send it a little bit into this penultimate corner. He has done so! Brilliant stuff.
Go on.
Top 8 is now the train. Brilliant stuff. And I tell you what, it looks to me like Casper's probably the quickest out of these top 3, but he's practically pushing Jake along the track. But this, up towards turn 3, this is where fireworks are about to get kicked off here, because Casper's got more speed than the two of them. It's 3 wide on the way up towards turn 3. And down the inside goes Casper. They're all going to try and play a little bit of chicken here to get the DRS on the exit. But look out for Waitsy, who's had the best exit out of the 4 of them. But where's he meant to go? It's Casper who leads, but he's got no DRS. And Jake will come through. And Arnaud, he'll try around the outside, will he? Or will he just hold off? He holds off. But, oh my goodness me. Waitsy, if he had anywhere to go, he would have tried to send it, I'm sure. But Jake now leads in Austria. Remember, the first stage ends on lap 9. That will be worth thinking about. And Jake, in that middle sector, he does look naturally slower than the rest of the field, which is it's good news if he's the leader, because it means everyone else gets to close up that little bit more. Look at this!
Fantastic helicopter shot from your point of view, Owen. I'm on board with Waitsy as we come to the end of
we're side by side already!
already side by side!
That's a mistake! I think that's a mistake! Unless Arnaud sends it up the inside of Jake, but now, big slide from Jake into the corner. But it's going to be 2 doses of DRS now for Jake and the rest of the field. And Casper, he got into the lead quite quickly, but surely he'll lose it just as quick as well. As here comes Corey up the inside of Waitsy, and Nick fancies a little bit of the action as well. It's all kicking off in the midfield. Jordan fighting his club car shootout rival, of course, and he's just ahead for now. But here comes Jake around the outside and down the inside again. Look at that from Casper, brilliant stuff to hold the race lead. They are absolutely leaving it all on the table here. Fantastic. And look at Arnaud around the outside of his teammate. Surely that's too risky, and it is. He's going to just fold back in behind. He'll get some more DRS on the next lap. But here is Corey. He's into this race now, and you know he's not going to hold back. He's going to absolutely go for Jake's throat here and try and make it in the RT 1, 2, 3.
How much fun is this, Owen? I'm loving every second of this. And
This
this
is
is what other leagues
fantastic.
cannot produce. They do not produce this style of racing. The drivers are free to race, do as they wish. A little bit of contact here and there, and they are absolutely making every little bit of that. Here goes Corey Dalton. He's the one to watch on the run up to turn 3. Owen Wyatt.
I get flashbacks here to what happened a couple of seasons ago when Corey caused a 4-car pilot with the leaders here. But he's going and nearly up the inside of Jake. Arnaud leads the race again, but here comes Casper, and you know he's going to go for the move again. He's gotten very good at this move into turn 4, and he'll just slide back through on his teammate. It's okay on this lap, but on the next lap, the elbows might come out a little bit more as Arnaud gets a decent exit out of 4 into 5, because obviously at the end of the next lap, we dish out a stage point. But look at that, that move from Jordan on Nick, side by side. Oh, and this is, like I say, it's all about the club car shooter for these two. And actually on that curve at 7, it's a risky place to be. And Jordan just backs out. Side by side here as well, Corey and Waitsy. Waitsy just holds back a little bit. Corey's struggling in that middle sector. But here we go, Jacko. It's about to be the first stage lap, and potential chaos is going to ensue here.
Yeah, so who's got it? Casper brings us on to the lap as we see yellow flags for, I believe, Yori further back, but they're all uniform through turn 1. But this is where it gets interesting. This first proper dose of DRS. Arnaud to the outside of Casper. Jake gets a good view at this. It's an easy move for Arnaud, but what happens behind? Corey has a big enough gap on Waitsy, and they're all going to get through turn 3 cleanly. Back to you, Owen Wyatt.
DRS towards 4. We know the tactic here. Surely it's got to be Casper coming through on Arnaud, but he's not really got the run. And Arnaud getting the move done early, that might have been the way to go about it. Good exit from Casper on the way out of 4. We know he can also get a good exit out of the final corner. So let's see here for Casper. I feel like he might have made a bit of an error here, but he's done this many times before. As Mike gets a 3-second time penalty. Worth pointing out he's got that penalty while sitting in P10, which of course will give you 5 playoff points tonight as part of our... oh my goodness me! Jake, what a save that was, as Arnold picks up the first playoff point, but that should have been in the wall through turn 9, and Jake, who I've since been struggling in the middle sector, it just appears to be all the he must have a really trimmed out car, because he's got no grip in the corners whatsoever. He's been able to close straight back up, of course, because of the way the DRS works. And in towards turn 3, they're all just holding back now. They all thought about it. They all sort of dummied each other, as I believe Yuri's possibly in the wall. We'll keep our eyes on that. I don't want to take my eyes off the leading battle. He's moving again.
No.
But here comes Jake on Casper. Does he fancy it? Look at them. They're all behaving now. What's wrong with you lot?
Boring.
Give us some
a classic
chaos.
Jake O'Sullivan race, isn't it? Where
I know.
not needed. But it has been good so far, I must admit. Other than this train that we seem to have now.
I feel like the main headline of this is look what happens when Gareth Hall isn't here.
Yeah.
Look at Corey. He's had a fantastic exit here out of turns 7 and 8. I wonder if Jake, on those tyres, he's clearly struggling on them, he's going to go for the pit lane. That's a bit dodgy, but I mean, he committed to the inside. He completely ignored the line on the way through turn 9, but I mean, I wouldn't be one to rat him out for it. Corey might, but it held him up a little bit, but not too much. As Jake goes onto the hard compound tyres. I suppose it backs up my point that the hards are quite good on this game, because you don't normally see that happen on a 2-stop race here.
No, but in that sector, by the way, Corey has managed to close right up to Casper and Arnaud once again. So Jake very much a plug in the way of Corey as he slides his way into turn 4, does the young Englishman. But it's looking good for Corey on this lap. He's had a couple of good laps. More yellow flags.
Yuri's in the wall.
Hasselager in the wall.
Only lost half the front wing, so there'll be no safety car for that.
We've got to stay with this, though. And in fact, if Arnaud leads this lap, it will be 100 on the season. He will stay out. So, yep, 100 laps led for Arnaud de Grief.
Interesting this. No one's pitting. So that would suggest to me that hard call that Jake took maybe isn't the proper strategy, and he was genuinely just struggling, as that's a full front wing gone this time for Risky, and that's a VSC for now. It could get upgraded. We'll keep our eye on that, but that is Risky into the wall, and it's a full safety car, I believe. So yes, this will give all these guys at the front a chance to pit. Mike, this isn't ideal timing for him. He needed us to come maybe 10 laps later. But it closes him back up to the pack on his Joker. And
for Leroy and Risky as well, it keeps them on the lead lap.
Yes.
Which is quintessential for them.
Helps out Yuri as well, even though he's not actually pitting with that damage. But don't know why, but he probably should. Risky won't either.
Overtaken by the leading pack.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
So Leroy will stay out as well. Look.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So
yeah, they'll get next time.
They'll go past the safety car. Of course, the leaders are going to pit anyway, but I suppose it wasn't worth a risk. Always worth trying to figure out who might end up stacking here, and when you see the whole field coming together. Just because we haven't actually mentioned it yet, Michael O'Keke here is pits. He's not pitting. Is he pitting?
Oh, that was late.
Right, no, it wasn't late, Jacko. He meant to do that because this is Michael O'Keke who's running in a genuine, legitimate 7th place. And as they all come through the pit lane, looks like it's all gone relatively smoothly.
Look at Jake. Jake in turn 1 now. He's going to miss out. He's going to lose out to the likes of Nick and Corey here. The pit stop early has backfired for the 2-time champion, as he will have to settle for P6 in front of his stablemate Ben Harrott.
Yeah, but interestingly, we have seen a split decision here on tyres. We've got ERT boys in Arnaud, Cuthbert and Corey going for mediums, and the rest going for hards. I know Jordan's ERT, but you know what I mean. We've got a fair split of mediums and hards here. So that'll be worth putting out on the restart. I'm sure Mike will be slightly disappointed that he's not into the lead. Okay, kicking him out of the pits in 11th place, obviously having taken a safety car pit stop. But he's net 10th, which would be that 5 extra points. So it's good for him. That he's not been in the wall yet today. Touch wood and all the rest of it. But yes, I am pleased to see him in this position. It's very unexpected. That's what happens when there's only 10 corners on the track. You can't crash at them.
It's been a very enjoyable race so far. I know we keep saying it.
Yeah, I know we kept hype. We
been.
should do this more often, really, where we should just say it's going to be a terrible race. And then look what happens.
We were so miserable
at
the start of this. Neither of us wanted to be it.
I know. It reminds me of Silverstone a couple of seasons ago when we both showed up absolutely just ready to go to bed, and then it ended up being a classic. So that might be a tactic. Just expect a bore fest, and then you'll get, at the very least, a very exciting first third of the race. It could all be boring from here. Who cares? Because we had a good start. It'll make the highlight reel, assuming someone could be arsed to make it. I can't. But I'm sure.
I can't either.
No, I don't get it. I mean, no highlights reel. The league will just die with a whimper, which I mean, it was going to anyway. But still. Oh well. Where are we then with pit stops? Because obviously some people haven't taken. Well, they are now actually. Yuri's taking a pit stop now. Yeah, they've all made their first mandatories apart from.
Risky's off, by the way.
Oh, brilliant. Maybe he's got floor damage because he was in the gravel at the start of the race, remember? And he can't even make these slow safety car lap corners. So, I mean, yeah, must be floor damage or diffuser or something's gone. Rear wing, something. Because he was in the gravel backwards on lap 1, I think. So, yeah, we'll see about that. But yeah, literally everyone's made their first stops, except for Mike, who only has to make one stop today. And I think he'll be extremely pleased to see people around him on hards. Because we said it before the race, hards are normally not a fancy tyre around here. But they are this year, and I wasn't expecting that. So perhaps Mike was. Even if he wasn't, he'll be pleasantly surprised, because that will give him a better chance than he would have been expecting. Of course, the penalty he has doesn't help, but there's nothing he can do about that now. He's just got to stick with it and hope the rest pick up penalties as the race goes on. I know the game does still say virtual safety car on the screen, but obviously you can see the safety cars out there, just in case people are confused, because I don't think it normally does this, but it's very much an F123 style problem, this, but it is indeed a proper safety car. And when Risky catches up to the pack, hopefully, by the end of lap 15, we'll be ready to go racing again.
He'll catch up.
Pete, by the way, in 15th. This is not good for his getting in front of Gareth Hall ambitions, and Risky last is not helping either, and Yuri in 16th isn't helping either, and Jamie Griffiths not being here isn't helping either. So Mike might end up in second place here, being our only hope of someone breaking into the playoffs here and dislodging Gareth from his unwanted playoffs spot. And I mean, where's Ben Shaw? He's only 9th place, so he's not going to win the race from there unless a lot of things happen to help him out.
I feel like Gareth is on his way to the playoffs, and if
I do,
yeah.
We're trying to find reasons not to, but it does look like, let's say, it depends on Mike's strategy, which looks stronger now than it did before the race. Yeah, we're going to see what happens with him, because he does have a tendency to put it in walls that we didn't even know existed. As I found out in Portugal watching him, it's fascinating. But yes, this is Gareth's last hope here.
He needs someone like a Ben Shaw or a Pete Knighton to just have a lucky day where they come and have the ability to win the race out of nothing, because you're not going to turn down a win.
I mean, to be fair, Pete's 15th. He only needs, 7 points? It's all he needs, but easier said than done, isn't it? There's a big stack up here. There's Arnold, who's very much led the most laps so far. He'll be hoping to get to lap 22, still on the lead. But with Mike behind him, he might be able to make a bit of a gap on this restart. And he's away now. So, a little bit of messing about in the mid-pack, but for the most part, looks like a clean restart. So, it's Arnold who leads. Mike second, and Casper, he'll be looking to get straight past, as will Corey. Will we see a bit of ERT warfare here? Up through turn 2 towards turn 3. No DRS, of course, on a restart, but you can still send it if you feel brave enough. Which like no one does.
On the inside of Jordan Lane.
Oh, sorry, Ben Shaw. No. I'll take that back then. He's got it wrong, unfortunately, for him, as Casper does get through on Mike, and Ben Shaw gets done by Waitsy. And look at this, here comes Corey as well, and Yeah, that's job done for ERT. That their top three, 1, 2, 3, all on mediums. They should be able to pull away here a little bit.
Internal celebrations for Owen Wyatt then as his team lead 1, 2, 3 in this race. You can't see the fist pumping into the air, but I can assure you it's happening. Isn't that right?
Well, same as last week. We finished 1, 2, 3 last week, looking to repeat the trick this time around. Jake will want to do something about that, but he's stuck on the back of Nick at the moment, who's again stuck on the back of Mike. And this is helping ERT to pull away, so we might see quite a lot of cars having to try and force their way past Mike, who's had a rubbish run through turn 1 as well, which isn't going to help his case. So let's see. Here comes the first car. And the second car, and it's going to be 3 wide into turn 3, and it looks to me like Ben Harrett fancies it as well, and Jordan. Oh, Mike, he's down to 8th place already, and it might get worse because here comes Waitsy, and he's going to be through as well. And look at Ben Harrett on the inside of Jordan, bit of contact there. That'll help Waitsy through as well, up into 7th place, and he might even fancy it on Ben too. He's having a very exciting lap. Is the debutant. Fancies it running outside, maybe a switchback, and up to 6th place.
What a move!
Very good stuff indeed.
Welcome to JACKOCAR.
He fits in like a glove, brilliant. Yeah. So up there into 6th place goes Waitsy. Now it's OKK on the back of. Oh wow!
There he is.
That's Ben Shaw off the inside.
Oh, it's Ben Shaw. Sorry.
What a move that was! But Mike, well. My goodness, I didn't see that coming. I was on board with Michael OKK for that one. He's been done by Catboy as well, and he's hit him into turn 1, pushing their way through. Meanwhile, at the front, it's about to kick off here by the looks of it, because ERT, they maybe want... Oh, big crash in the background, and into the wall goes Waste, and Pete Knighton, and the safety car's out again. That was good direction for me now to catch that on camera. I'm very proud of myself.
I've just watched it back, well done.
Well, it's a bit of a shame because it looked like it was about to kick off there for R9, Casper and Corey. It's great news for Jake and for Nick and really for the rest of them. And
it's bad news for Gareth.
It's terrible news for Gareth. I mean, it's good news in a sense because Pete's out of the race, and also because Waste is out of the race. So I mean, as far as he's concerned, I mean, if you want to stay in the playoffs, it's as bad as he won't, but. Like, at least it's Waste who's taking him out. It'll fuel the agenda that little bit more.
Gareth will be blaming both of them for that. You can hear him.
I was going to suggest...
He's going to get knocked out in Mexico again, isn't he? It's going to happen.
I was going to suggest for Mike, by the way. I mean, is this a good time to make your Joker pit stop? I mean, we're at the halfway point of the race. Everyone else can't make their second mandatory under the safety car. You'll go green at the end of, what, 2021? I mean, it's pretty much a guaranteed pathway to the front of the field, isn't it? Surely if you're Mike, you take that. It's not even a gamble. I mean, it's not even a gamble, really. You've got to win the race, really, if you're Mike. Or finish top 3. So...
Now is the time.
Yeah, hopefully someone can radio into you and say, pit for the mediums, give it a try. What's the worst that'll happen? You need to make 13 points up on Gareth here. There's no point finishing in 7th or 8th.
And then he needs a safety car free second part of the race if it's to work out for him. Remember, probably 6 seasons ago now, something like that, he tried this strategy and it was a safety car that came out late that ruined it for him. He was on his way to victory.
Yeah, so he knows what can go wrong, but he knows what can go right. So, yeah, if I'm Mike here, I'd be doing a bit of miles in my head and just trying it. I mean, he knows he's gonna get swamped again. He lost 7 places in a lap and a half, so you might as well lose the rest of them now and be on fresh tires at a restart and just bide your time. But it doesn't look like he's going to take the pit stop as risky. Ignoring a yellow flag, picks up a 10-second penalty on his way into the pits, and he already had 10-second penalties to deal with, so he's going to have to deal with some more now. Which again, more bad news for Gareth. This.
Only I think Mr. Lewis will serve that penalty. Final pit box. Let's see what happens. Does the car wait? Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
He's going to be there for some time.
Did he have a speeding penalty, or did he already take that one off as well?
I think he might have already taken that one off.
So
By the
Yes.
way,
Very dirty driving.
going back to the Ben Shaw move on OKK, reminiscent somewhat of his move on Jamie Wright in Texas at the short circuit that time.
Ah, yes. It's a good shot. I do remember that move, yes. The short-lived short circuit. Must have been back in, what, season 4 or 5 he pulled that move off. But, yes, I know. I remember it well. We called it pretty much move of the season there on the spot. It was good riding on board with OKK for that one, because I was too busy looking ahead. And I'm sure he was. And then suddenly, yeah, Ben Shaw, who was looking for that mythical P10 position, and he has it, as it stands. Again, worth reminding you, it's worth 5 extra playoff points tonight. And in terms of the Club Card Shootout, Nick is doing more than enough right now to beat Jordan. But I don't think Jordan really cares. He's already through to the playoffs. He's got a decent start to his season. They both have, actually.
Win this race. I don't want to say anything too early. But then again, anybody in the top 8 realistically could.
Yeah, it's a very open situation at the moment, isn't it? This safety car, I think, has helped for the competitiveness of this race as we prepare to restart. It is ERT 123, but when we get to lap 22, there's very much going to be a Jake O'Sullivan and Nick Egan and Waitsy and Ben Harrett and everyone else in DRS as we go green once again. And there's already a bit of side-by-side with Waitsy and with Ben Harrett. And down inside into turn 1. Oh, nearly hits Nick, but does get through on Waitsy. Did he have to back off into the wall? Goes Mike. I think it's only going to flash yellow. That's terrible news for him as he recovers back onto the track. Side by side, Ben Harrett, Waitsy. Waitsy goes a bit wide. Jordan's going to try and nick through the middle of the two of them. Jordan. He's got one of them. Can he get the other one down the back straight in towards turn 4? Side by side. It will need a late braking move. We know he can do it, but he's going to just sit back, wait for some DRS there, Jordan. And look at this, Casper's already making the move into the lead. Of course, at the end of the next lap, there's a playoff point up for grabs. And Casper says, I want it. Of course, putting yourself in that position means he's going to get past on the next lap, which might be another mistake from him. But let's see.
Casper's the only man this season to win both stages in the same race. He did it last week, 11 races, and only one time as one driver won both stages, so it means it's very, very open. Here comes on out into turn 1 then. Corey follows. Jake has made his way up to 4th, and Nick Egan runs P5.
Yeah, just quickly before we go here, Jordan got sent, I believe, by Waitsy into turn 9. He's been mugged by 3 or 4 cars because Ben sent him into the last corner afterwards. As into turn 3, chicken indeed is being employed here by the ERT drivers. They're all sort of mucking about, and Arnaud surely is going to take the lead back here in towards turn 4. I mean, Casper's flashing here, but they're playing nice again. What's all this about? As we do see Casper go wide. I'm going to have to assume Arnaud went wide in the last lap, which is what allowed Casper to get through in the first place. But, well, Arnaud looks to be holding it here. And Jake, he's not been quick enough to get involved yet. I suppose the safety car's helped these mediums to last a little bit longer. Nothing stopping Jake, though, from going for an undercut for some mediums. I mean, he struggled after about 10 laps on them on the last stint, but the car's lighter now. I mean, it's worth a risk. You're in 4th place. It'll be difficult to break through a wall of ERT drivers as Casper does take the 2nd stage point of this race. And Arnaud closes in. Here comes some more DRS. We also see more stuff in the midfield. OKK on his medium, looks quite competitive as he's following Catboy through here past Ben Shaw, and Arnaud into the lead again, and Corey just holding back a little bit. He got well alongside Casper but didn't want to take him out, and here comes Casper in towards turn 4 again. Difficult move this round outside, and he's not really bothered to turn into the corner. Doesn't want to take his teammate out. And yeah, they're playing very nice here, our ERT. It's enough to hold enough to hold Jake back, and that's, I suppose, all they really need. But yes, it's still side by side a little bit in this midfield fight. It's Jordan and OKK now. OKK with a lovely switchback, but doesn't make his way back through into P10. Mike did make his pit stop after that accident, by the way, and he's last now. So his joke was a bit dead. If only he'd pitted before. But anyway, Nick's into the pits, Ben Harrett into the pits. The undercut has been employed by these two, and I'm hoping to see 2 different pit crews come out. Safety car! Well, That's interesting. They get away with this one because, of course, they were in the pits before the safety car came out.
Yeah.
Most of these guys didn't get that chance. Ben Shaw will get that chance to pit under this safety car, as will Jake, I believe. This looks like a bit of a disaster for ERT. This, no?
Yeah.
It's
thrown it wide open. It's also
completely
got
wide
back
open.
Into it.
A little bit, but unfortunately, if he just taken the safety car restart before the last restart, and he'll know it himself. But yes, you're right. He'll be back into this race. But just to check in on this, then, so Ben and Nick did come out behind the safety car, and I might have cost them a second or two, but since they have passed the safety car, surely they're no longer under Delta. I'm not entirely sure on science, but no, they are under Delta. They are under Delta.
They are. However, Owen, net race leaders.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Surely they'll still be able to catch up enough. Because Arnaud can't pit. Casper can't pit. Jake, of course, will. As will Waitsy. Kieran is pitting. Was he under green? I don't think he was under green last time. But we know Ben wasn't. Or was under green, sorry. Anyone who's in the pits now, but might have to get a bit of JACKOCAR on this, because a few of these guys, I mean, Yuri hasn't got a front wing. He's probably the reason for the safety cars. That's fair enough. Let's see where Ben Harrett comes out. Well, you can see Jake O'Sullivan's car coming out of the pits, so Jake will beat him out here. But Ben is into second place. Nick is into third, and calling that first, second and third, of course, you never know what will happen at the front. It could work out for them still. As Baza, look at this, Baza runs in P7. We haven't seen that for a while, have we? Just thought we'd give that. I know KK in fifth, Risky in sixth. I mean, if we get another shake up of the order, that could be Risky's way back in. But yes, the order very much looks like it's been flipped on its head. But I would possibly like a VAR check on Catboy. I just don't know if he took a mandatory safety car stop before. I hope he did, because
I will get to looking.
Just because I see 11 laps on all the ERT guys, and they obviously didn't pit, and Catboy did. Yuri as well did, but he had to change his front wing. So I mean, what do you want him to do? Not pit? I'm sure he'll make another pit stop or something later on. But yeah, it's just worth checking out as we follow the leaders around. Probably get one more lap of safety car after this. And then we'll be ready to go for what could be an incredibly exciting last 10 laps. Because now ERT might have to stop being nice to each other, because suddenly they've got to put their foot down here and get a move on and try and beat out who surely will be the new favourite for this win, Jake O'Sullivan, our champion, our regular season champion, and of course 2-time series champion. Ben Shaw,
13.
though. Yes.
Sorry, Owen. Lap 13. Catboy pitted under safety car.
So that's 2 safety car pit stops he's made then, isn't it?
Yeah. He started P4, had a poor start.
Although he does have 3 stops on his name, actually.
Does he?
So,
oh, yes, sorry. He pitted on lap 4 as well. I take it all back.
Ah, okay. There you go.
So that is a legal stop you have just seen, but
Brilliant.
he is behind. So he's what, net P5?
Yes.
Or 6?
5, I believe.
Anyway,
Interestingly,
Ben Shaw, you were saying.
Yes, interestingly, Ben Shaw being up here now, he's not had the best race I've ever seen, but if he's net 4th place now, he is a must-win. If he does win it, he'll probably be really upset, but it would obviously get him into the playoffs. And that goes for anyone, basically, who hasn't already won a race this season, of course. But yes, for Ben Shaw in particular, that is definitely worth pointing out. Nick doesn't really matter if he wins it. It doesn't really matter if Ben Harrett wins it. They've both already through, basically. Jake's obviously the regular season champion. Catboy's obviously already through. I mean, Leroy's thereabouts, but he didn't pit under that safety car. So, Ben Shaw's the one who really needs to win out of that lot.
Like I said earlier, and I don't know anyone who would give up a win. You're going to take your moment of glory, aren't you?
Yeah, you would, wouldn't you? It'd be very hard to do.
Like a Ben Shaw in this situation he finds himself in. A win is more important than going through the chase. Can
I just point something out, by the way? There's going to be 10 laps to go here. The track has just clouded over.
Yes, it has.
Perhaps that could come to ERT's aid later on, if it does rain. So we'll keep our eye on that. It might not. But if it does, it could be a bit like Spa, which was very exciting. As we go racing once again, OKK's had a fantastic restart here. He's going to have a little look on Jordan here for P4 in towards turn 1. Late on the brakes, though, for Jordan, and he gets through, and looks like OKK's nearly went off into the wall, and he's had to save it on the exit, so that'll let Risky
Jordan
through.
cut him off running into T1, by the way. I don't know if you saw it.
I was on board, yeah. It was a fair move. It's side by side. Look at that. Jake and Baz are nearly making some contact, and that could have been curtains there. As you see Ben Harrop basically pushing Baz through. He's like, get a move on, because they know they've got a chance to win the race. Here comes Jake O'Sullivan. Surely he'll send it. No, he holds back on OKK. That could hold him up. With the best will in the world, OKK's quite a lot slower here, but luckily for him, well, no, Baz has not been able to hold off people, actually. He's been passed on all sides. There goes both the Bens through. One on the right, one on the left. And now he's gone wide. He's going to be done by a few more cars as well. Yellow flags for Mike. Has he found a wall? No. That'd be no safety car for that then. Wait till he's all over the back of Baz and I too. And, yeah, no way through there. That would be a mad move if you went for it. But look at that. OKK's held up. He's held up Jake for a whole lap. And now Jake has to get through by turn 1. And he will. As we head through, Risky nearly thought about it on Jordan. I feel like they're racing very hard out there. Maybe it is going to rain, you know. Maybe they think they can win the race this lot. As here goes Risky, and the guys at the front ERT look to be holding station for now. Risky's up into 4th place. And good exit from Jordan. Can he come back at them? Not quite. Jake, he needs to, but I'm not sure if he'll manage it. Because Jordan, he's making the move on Risky, and they're side by side all the way through 4. Good racing, this.
Ben and OKK
have made contact.
OKK gets spun.
We're still almost free wide here, and Jake's just had to back up because contact there, and nearly an accident for Jake. But there's contact with Jordan and Risky. They've been side by side the whole lap. We've got grandstand seats here, and finally Risky gets the move done. It only took most of the lap. But my goodness me, that was some hard racing. It's let ERT get away, but as you would have seen on screen, Casper has picked up a 3-second time penalty.
In the wall,
and he's nearly put it in the wall. This is
what a save.
A bad lap for Casper, but at least he's still in the race. And Jake, he's still stuck in 6th place. This must be so frustrating because Ben Shaw, who's on a must-win, he's right on him now, but this is it. Here comes Jake. He's going to get 2 cars at once, is he? He's basically had to prise the gap open there. Incredible.
Fantastic.
There was absolutely... Oh, my goodness me. It's all going on behind him as well, as Ben Shaw looks to be getting attacked there into the corner. But he is through on Risky. And, oh, my goodness. We've got Corey into 2nd place now, by the way, but you've got Risky and Catboy. They're still fighting a little bit in there in the midfield. But Jake, that was crucial. Absolutely crucial to just prize the gap there through the middle. He literally has to hit both cars to open the gap. But he's now got through, Jake, and he's set a purple middle sector while he's done it. So
Jake finally learning what JACKOCAR racing is all about here in Season 10 as Waitsy makes a move on the inside of his one-hub teammate Nick Egan. And then a mistake for Risky, which will allow Catboy to go through on the outside here on the main straight. It's all happening, Owen Wyatt. It's 7 laps to go here in Austria.
And you'll notice there's been no pit stop since that restart. No, none for the top guys anyway, which must mean they're waiting for it to rain. Or yeah, because they can't pit under a safety car, so they've got to be waiting for some rain. Which is a fascinating prospect, because if they are, it kind of needs to start. It's raining! It's raining now with 7 to go, Jacko!
The classic is in our hands, Owen.
Oh my goodness me, this might be perfect. Look at Ben Shaw, by the way, having a look on Jordan, who's defending very well indeed. Jake will be pleased to see that. As he tries to catch the ERT guys, and he might well get into DRS on this lap. He's got the fresher tyres, of course. Surely he thinks he can go to the end of the race on these tyres. He might have to if he wants to win this race. Surely someone out there is going to try and make a gamble on it. We know the top 3 have to pit. We know Jordan has to pit. The rest of them, though, pretty much can stick it out here. So it makes it a very interesting situation as Ben Shaw goes up into 5th place. Can he catch up to Jake? It could be for a win. Catboy fancies it well. He's side by side with Jordan and through. Jordan picking up a penalty in the process. Jake, though, that rear wind's open now. He can close in on the RT. And this is going to get good now. Surely he's going to be aggressive. Look at that. Catboy's through past Ben Shaw as well. They're going to fight a lot because Waitsy's in there too. Jordan's in there.
I just think ERT are holding each other up by not fighting and not going for position. Look at Waitsy to the inside of Catboy into turn 4. What a move that is.
He's been hit by Ben.
And gets another touch and through goes Ben Shaw.
A lot of contact.
And Jordan's still there as well. But somehow Waitsy comes out P5 and all of that when he should not have. He did not deserve to get through. But through he goes.
Contact
and Catboy
again.
6th. Ben Shaw 7th.
Nick's front wing's got some big damage on it now. If Jordan can just keep it clean, he may still have a chance at winning the club car shootout. But this is a fight for P10, by the way. It's got to be said for those 5 extra playoff points because they're all over each other right now. And the Elbows have very much come out. Up at the front, ERT, I agree with you. They've got to start passing each other just to get themselves. There's no point slowing yourselves down. They've all got. Well, Casper's got a full tank of ERS. He's trying to be smart here. But they've got to get a move on here because if Jake gets at them. It's curtains, really, isn't it? It could be anyway, because I don't think this is heavy enough rain for intermediates, and they're going to have to pit at some point. And, we've got a lot of fighting happening behind them, so they may not lose too much time, but, this is a fascinating last 5 laps here. And we're going to have to get our calculators at the end of it, because if anyone just happens to sneak into a good position and finds themselves into the top 10, where they weren't supposed to be, then we will let you know. But at the minute, it's too chaotic to tell where anyone's going to finish right now. As off the road goes Ben Shaw, and he's going to get passed there by a couple of drivers, including the other Ben Harris. So it's a big move for him, that. But they're struggling in the conditions, but it's not really that heavy this rain, is it?
It's not. But as you say, that will favour the guys that have pitted, and it won't favour the 3 up front that need to pit. But will Jake play it sensible, or will he try and force his way to the front? Now, by the way, clearly most laps led today. There's only 5 that he hasn't led, so 28 to his name.
Big slide.
Casper has a moment there, and Jake breaks and just about gets away with it. Nick Egan ahead of Sullivan Lewis further down in that slot for P10. He could walk away with 15 playoff points here today.
If ERT over the next few laps here keep on slowing each other down, these guys behind, the speed boys of Waitsy and Kieran, they could have a chance of catching up still, and they'll be dragging a big amount of the field with them as off goes Risky. He recovers, no damage from what I can tell, so no worries about a safety car. This is pretty much the last point in the race where we could get one. As OKK, he's sadly found himself at the back, actually, and Corey is going to pit. So is that I feel that to me admitting defeat, isn't it? But this will probably be for softs, frankly. Let's see. He might be able to nick a fastest lap, but surely there's no way this is going to be for anything resembling a wet tyre. No, he's going to put intermediates on, so I don't know. I just don't think that's right. 3 laps. If this was
Jake.
If this was Spa, as Jake does get through, nicely done there, and obviously Casper doesn't get any DRS on his teammate. Jake gets a DRS having been behind Casper on the way into the corner, so very well managed there. But I don't think there's no point. If this was Spa and it was doing this, perhaps you'd be able to sort of get back into it. But the lap here is just too short, I think. So I think it's better just going for softs if you have to pit, frankly, which is probably what Arnold's going to have to do in the next couple of laps, and Casper as well. But it means at the moment the podium as it stands is going to be Jake, Catboy, but impressively Waitsy is on for a debut podium, and he's on the back of Catboy. There could be a second place in it for him here as Casper into the pits. Arnold has to pit this lap, of course, so or else we will be handing him the black flag.
Yep. Nick's still with the advantage over Jordan as well, on his way to winning the club card shootout. He will join an illustrious list, which contains the following names: previous winners of the club card shootout, Ben Harrott and Arnaud de Gree.
Disappointingly, has to be said, look at where ERT are coming out here, 10th and 11th, and you'll probably get Arnold in there somewhere in the middle. So it looks like they're going to win those extra points for 5th, for 10th. So They might fight over that a little bit, but as it turns out, they're going to get those points. So it's not a win, of course, but the extra points are going to go to them. So they get something back for messing their races up. But of course, the safety car coming at them. I mean, I'm up for it. But here comes Arnold then into the pits. I believe it's your line now, as we do have a fight for the win here, Jacko.
Yep, you won't believe it. It's 1 lap to go here in Austria. Not sponsored by Credit One Bank because they've never heard of us and we're not legally obliged to say that. But really somehow, Catboy is leading the way.
Well, is this tactical, or are they going to try and get Waitsy a victory, I wonder? Because... well, to be fair, no, actually, riding on board with Jake when he was passing Casper, he looked like he was about to have an accident. They could actually just be struggling here. They are struggling. But Catboy has a little bit come out of nowhere here. And Jake, he needs to get this move right here. And defending on the inside, he's going to slide all the way through the corner. That's not going to work. Here comes Catboy.
Wow.
Kieran's going to take the lead of this. I think he's going to win the race. But with how much these two are struggling for grip, all it takes is one little moment. Oh, for Jake, who can't keep it on the road. Can't wait to see next second place here. Or is he struggling as well? But for Jake, who looked like that was going to be a definite win for him, not to be. It was going to be a third win of the season. Instead, it's still going to be a third win of the season, but it's going to be Kieran, who hasn't led a single lap all day, I don't think. But Kieran wins in Austria. I'm sorry if I sound a bit surprised by that, but I think he'll agree. He came out of nowhere to win that. Jake's in second place. Waitsy with a debut podium in third. Ben Shaw in fourth.
He wants P10.
Oh, are they going to muck about for this now? Across the line.
They're going to muck about for it. There's an extra penalty for Arnold. Who gets it?
Mike Kelterborn gets it. Oh, Mike Kelterborn gets it. Fantastic stuff. That's going to kick off his chase campaign very nicely indeed. But yes, let's just quickly run that order down. So Ben Shaw 4th, Ben Harrett 5th, Leroy in 6th, perfectly confirms him for the playoffs. Nick in 7th, Arnold, Casper and NK Bourne finish out the top 10, and NK Bourne, I say, he gets that extra 5 points. Corey 11th, Jordan in 12th, Nick wins the Club Car Shootout, of course, with that. Yuri 13th, Baza 14th, OKK crawling round the final quarter, has to be said, to finish in 15th. He's run out of fuel, is why that's happened. Which makes you question how... Or has he run out of... He must... Yeah, he's run out of fuel. Risky... We might catch him, actually, to finish in...
He's letting him go, I think.
He has genuinely run out of fuel, to be fair, okay? He might need to get a push over the line here, and he does.
That's fine.
But, yes, that was possibly race of the season after all the moaning we've done.
That.
All the moaning we've done, and they've given us a fantastic race. So, that shows us, I suppose. But, yeah... Kieran there, credit where credit's due. How the hell did you do that? I mean, it's a good thing we did the VAR check, isn't it? Because that could have been well awkward. But he did make 3 stops. It was perfectly legal, and the safety car, it did help him in the end. But he had to make the move on Jake, and on those hards, it appeared to just handle the conditions better, Jacko.
It sure did. Like you, I'm still a little bit in shock, but what a race. Well done to Kieran. He actually moves off of 11 wins, which he currently shares with Kyle, Corey and Casper, and on to 12 all-time he goes. Jake, very unfortunate to lose it at the end there, but struggling in those conditions, and a big congratulations to Mr. Chris Waits, Speed Waitsy, on his debut P3. That is not easy to do coming into this league, and he's done a bloody good job. Deserves more, probably a future race winner if we get him in more often. Ben Shaw, possible best race of the season, and Ben Harrett completing the top 5. Leroy may have knocked Gareth out of the playoffs, but
he was already ahead of Gareth. You see, he's actually he's actually having a decent season as it turns out. But yeah, sadly, everyone who needed to have a good race here to annoy Gareth, it's just what happens with Gareth. Unfortunately, he's into the playoffs, I believe. I don't see a single result in that field that would threaten at all.
Well, Mexico, which is round 20, is also the round of 6. It's the final race before our final race. Gareth is getting knocked out in round 20. Can you believe it?
That's a sentence he'll never have said before, that. But yeah, well, maybe he'll have to start trying now. But anyway, that is the end of the regular season, and frankly, with the way the season started, with most of the field not being here, all sorts of messing about when people didn't want to get the gear and all the rest of it. Thank goodness we're finally starting to find our flow a little bit, because I was a bit worried that we were going to have a bit of a stinker. But we will thankfully be back next week for the start of the playoffs, and if that race is anything to go by, I can't wait for Brazil, which is where we go next.
So it is. In fact, the round of 10 consists of Brazil, Monza, and Canada. That's a solid opening round to the playoffs, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we follow that, but the US leg, we've got Miami, Austin, Vegas, and then France Super Speedway, and Mexico, where Gareth will get knocked out before our finale in Abu Dhabi for the championship.
Under the lights to finish it all. But yeah, we still have a whole one-hub season to go, Owen.
That is basically how it is. I'm sure Nick will be exhausted by the end of it.
Yeah. But there you go. Anything more to add? Because I certainly don't. What a race.
Yeah, what a race. Thanks for watching. I've got to go play Baza now on FIFA, so I suppose we should probably do that. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Gareth, I hope you find something to enjoy in that race. Commiserations. And we will see you next week in Brazil. Cheerio. Safe travels. Take care.